The food industry calls it liquid gold, and for New Zealand producers, Manuka honey and its purported health benefits, selling for hundreds of dollars a kilogram, have been a huge success story. But HoneyLab co-founder Dr. Shaun Holt is thinking far bigger than that, and it's Manuka's cousin, Kanuka, he's interested in.
When you look at the numbers involved, it's absolutely mind-watering. As one of our board members says, it's biblical. It is, orders of magnitude greater than that can be achieved by building a brand and selling jars of honey.
The company was born in Katikati, just up the road from Tauranga, where Shaun, with a background in medical research, had the idea to take honey seriously as a medicine.
People were selling it in jars to add value based on the Manuka story, and that's great. But for me, it was a medicine, and for me, the returns from a medicine are so much higher.
Much of Shaun's medical career has been spent testing new medicines for the pharmaceutical industry. And as so many pharmaceuticals failed, he could see huge potential in natural products.
But if people are using natural products, they probably work, but a lot of them don't have science around them. So really it was a case of applying those pharmaceutical clinical trial methods to natural products. And of course, why not start with honey, being based here in the Bay of Plenty and all the obvious medical properties it has.
At a barbecue with local businessman David Hayes, Dr. Holt mentioned his interest in developing a honey-based medicine.
He said, I supply Kanuka honey particularly. I said, well, that's perfect, because from reading the literature, I think that's a better choice than Manuka. They're both great at killing bugs, but Kanuka is actually anti-inflammatory as well, whereas Manuka tends not to be.
10 years on, Mr. Hayes is still one of HoneyLab's 30 shareholders, and the company may be on the brink of realising its, quote, biblical potential. Published results of Phase 3 trials on its product to treat skin condition rosacea showed, according to Dr. Holt, outstanding effectiveness.
Current treatments are not very good. If you talk to any doctor, they'll say, yeah, it's really hard to treat rosacea. It's usually antibiotics for years and years and years, which don't really work very well. But we got amazing studies with honey. You use it as a mask, you put it on there for about 15-30 minutes, once or twice a day, and then you wash it off. It's not eating honey we're talking about, it's a topical medicine. And on the trial, in just 8 weeks, which is nothing for rosacea, people had it for an average of 15 years. In just 8 weeks, 2/3 improved, 1/3 had a dramatic improvement, and in 1 in 8 people, the rosacea was completely gone. So that's better, I would argue, than any pharmaceutical.
However, the biggest promise so far rests on Phase 3 clinical trials testing the effectiveness of HoneyLab's product on cold sores. The trial itself was innovative and involved 950 subjects and 75 pharmacists who were trained to take part in the study.
So that's one of the biggest ever cold sore studies. We think the second biggest ever, even that a pharmaceutical company's done. We're pretty sure it's the biggest study ever done in New Zealand.
Subjects coming into their pharmacy to buy a cold sore treatment were offered a commercial product or the opportunity to get a free treatment and $20 in exchange for providing feedback. Results of that trial are yet to be published, but Dr. Holt is fizzing about the potential.
But in terms of our commercial partners, we're ready to talk to them now, and we've started. So the last 12-18 months, we've started those negotiations seriously. Since we got the cold sore trial results in the middle of this year, we've started discussions in earnest. We're talking to a lot of people. Some are in a single country, some are a region like Asia Pacific, and some are some of the biggest companies in the world, the massive global pharmaceutical companies. When you talk to those companies, they have a number of issues. One is they're running out of drugs. You can look this up. The pharmaceutical industry is just really struggling to find new medicines.
And they're struggling to offer natural products in place of chemical products, a choice Dr. Holt says consumers would overwhelmingly make.
It's hard for pharmaceutical companies. They know that's what everyone wants. But there's virtually no products with science that's good enough for them. They have to put out scientific products. And so we're filling that gap.
The company's progress has been achieved on a fraction of the normal budget for pharmaceuticals, with the friends and family support in the early years now supplemented by about $4 million raised from professional investors such as Quayside Holdings, that's the Bay of Plenty Regional Council's investment arm, and several iwi funds. A further $5 to $6 million is being sought in another funding round, which, if all goes according to plan, will be the last required before revenue starts to flow. Costs are kept low, with just 3.5 employees, no head office, and work contracted out as required.
Maybe some investors think we're a bit crazy at 3.5 staff to try and take on the big pharmaceutical companies. But when we publish the results of the cold sore trial and we achieve global licensing deals, hopefully I think we'll be proved correct.
And after Carnuka honey, Dr. Holt's already lining up other natural products. So could HoneyLab be a billion-dollar company?
Absolutely, because there's no reason why not when you see the sums involved. You know, if and when we complete licensing deals, we certainly won't need any more funding, that's for sure, and we'll be like a traditional pharmaceutical company. A chunk of that will be reinvested in R&D, which we can do here, do it really quickly, really cheaply, and obviously dividends as well.